Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Morning. I forgot to do my intro, if any of you noticed that. Okay. So good morning. Hello. Welcome to my craft room. My name is Tina Bickford. I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. I am located in the US here in the Northeast. This is Mickey. This is my tortie. You guys usually see Tofu. She's usually in here. So Mickey's joining me today. So yeah, if you're here live, watching live, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm just going to set her down. Okay. Good girl. Yeah, you good girl. Good morning, Mom. Is Dad watching with you? So I actually got a I got a comment on one of my good morning, Lisa from North Carolina. Hey, we're getting some sun today up here. Yay. So I got a comment on one of my older videos, one of my older Facebook live videos. Good morning, Louise. Thank you. Vicky says good morning. Okay, good, Mom, because this is actually going to be his Father's Day card. So don't let him watch. Good morning, Sandra from Oklahoma. Thank you for joining. So I got a comment on one of my older videos. So not one of my lives, but one of the videos that I uploaded. It's from back when I was just able to live stream on Facebook. So I have uploaded it. And all of those older videos, I don't have project sheets for. I don't have, I just have really generic YouTube thumbnails on them. I just haven't gotten to like creating project sheets and stuff like that for it. So I got a comment asking me if I had a written instruction for that card, and I did not. So I thought, well, what a better time. I have to do a video on Sunday anyway, so I'll just do this card again. I love this card. It's super, it's easy to make, but the dimensions the way that you cut the card can get a little bit confusing. So there are some things that I want to show you. I'm calling it the diagonal crossover card. I don't know what I don't know what the original, I don't know who the original designer is of this card. I saw it, I think, who did I see doing it? So I've seen Lisa Curcio do this one. I've seen Ralph Tyndall do this one. So I've seen a lot of people do it. I just don't know where it originated from. So we'll just start there. I'm calling it the diagonal crossover card. We'll see. Let me see. I have a bunch of alternates to show you because I've been playing with it. And I did want to show you a couple of like other versions that I've seen. So other videos that I've seen demonstrators do, or maybe not even demonstrators, just people doing card making videos. I've seen others do different versions of it. So I want to show you because sometimes like I said, the way that you score and cut the cardstock for the card base can get a little bit confusing. I do have a project sheet ready for this. I will have it in the description of the video. I actually have all of that set. I just have to click save on the video. And let's see, anything else? Yeah, no, let's switch down to the desk camera and get this going. You guys don't want to hear me talk all day. All right. Let me just show you some of the, so this is the stuff that we're going to be using. Let me just hold on one second. I'm going to take you guys for a ride here. Just bring this camera up a little bit because, wow, that's really close. Okay. Let's try that. All right. So let's do that. All right. So our card base is going to be this Secret C. This card, this color is gorgeous. I love this color. Love it, love it, love it. I have no idea why the color. I have no idea why the light is changing as I move my hands in and out, but we'll go with it. It's a gorgeous color. You guys need it. Secrecy. All right, then I'm going to be using the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. Good morning, Renee. Thank you for joining us from Western New York. I'm going to be using the Natural Botanicals. This is a masculine card, so I want to pull in just some, some leaves, more masculine imagery. And then I'm going to also be using, no, I'm not putting flowers on my Father's Day card, but I am going to be using some of the dies from this die set. The ones that I'm going to be using, let's pull that out. I'm just going to use some of these little like fan-shaped leaf type things just as fill-ins. So I'm just going to use those. Now, I've already fussy cut and die cut a lot of this stuff ahead of time. So because I had a lot of stuff I wanted to show you. So we're also going to be using the Secrecy ink and the Heartfelt Hexagon punch. Let me just move some of this stuff out of the way. All right. And let's get our paper trimmer. And what we're going to do, this is not a paper saving type of card. You will use an entire sheet of paper for one card. So I'm just going to take this. This is just a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I'm going to score it halfway both ways. So I'm going to score it along the 8.5 inch section at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to just rotate it and I'm going to score it at 5 1/2 along that 11 inch side. Okay, so what you end up with are 4 quadrants to your paper, to your cardstock. The first thing that we're going to do, now other videos, you will see people saying to remove this section. Because of the way that I scored, I want to just make sure that you know why I'm doing it differently. Because of the way I scored on this side, which means I pushed the cardstock down, which means this is the debossed section of the or side of the score, and the other side is the raised side. And we all know that you fold in towards the raised side. So knowing that I'm going to fold my card in this way, okay, I'm going to remove this section. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to put this right back up on my trimmer, line it up at the 4 1/4 inch mark again. And I'm going to take my cutting blade, and you can do this whichever way makes you comfortable. You can cut from this edge down to this score line, or you can cut up. So I'm just going to cut up. So I'm going to line my cutter, that line right on the side, right with my score line, and just cut up. And then I'm going to rotate this, put it on the 5 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut from that score line up and just remove this section. Okay. So now you have this. Now I will say, I'm going to say this here. When I fold this card, the way that I fold this card, this section gets folded in first, and then this section gets folded down second. If you want to fold these in the opposite direction, and I'll show you that when we get to it, then when you cut here, you're going to want to make sure that you remove that score line that you made here. So you want to make sure that you cut just on the other side of the score line. So because when this folds down, it would be inside of this one, and the edge would be against this score line. Let me just show you. So if I flip this over and I fold this one down first, this is not going to give me enough room for this to fold in comfortably. So you'll want to take that score line off, okay? You'll see that how that will make more sense once I cut this more and fold it. All right, so now we have this. This is where a lot of people get the awkward cutting. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to take this upper quadrant here, and we're going to cut from this corner down to this corner of the quadrant, or right to that 5.5 inch score line. So from here right down, I'm going to pull my paper trimmer in, and I'm just going to line this up so that my score line is in that channel and my point is in that channel. I'm going to bring my cutting blade down and I'm going to cut into this. Don't ever cut into a corner, but you guys are experienced crafters and you know that. So I'm just going to cut up and remove this. I'm going to set this aside. We're going to use this. Okay. So this is what we have now. Is what we have for that camera straight. Ooh, sorry. Here we go. Not really straight there. Okay. So this is what we have now for our card. The next cut is going to take, we're going to cut from this corner down here. So we're going to cut this quadrant here. We're going to cut from this corner up to this. This is the middle of the card stock. This is where the two score lines intersect. So for this quadrant here, we're going to cut from the lower right to the upper left of the quadrant. Okay. And I always recommend cutting this top quadrant first, because if you try to cut this one first, you've got that extra piece of cardstock here and it fits awkwardly in the paper trimmer. So I'm just going to put this in and I'm going to line up my point here at the bottom, and I'm just going to rotate I'm going to hold this point with my finger and keep it on that channel, and I'm just going to rotate this until that point lands in the channel. Now, I don't want to cut into this point, but I also don't want to try to land my or start my cutting blade right there. So I'm going to pull this down somewhere into the center of this quadrant here, and I'm going to cut up until I feel that you can feel it. You feel it stop when it hits that, and then you're just going to bring it down into that corner. Pull this one out. We're going to use this one also. So I'm just going to set that aside. Okay. Now what we have is this. It's a weird shape, right? We're going to flip it over. And this is going to become the inside of our card. And this is what I mean. This is going to flip. This is going to come over and fold this first, and this is going to fold down. So this is basically going to be our card. You guys have seen this card done on lots of videos. I know you have, but you haven't seen it done tatted stamper style. So I'm going to show you, I want to just take just a minute to show you a couple of different ways that I have seen people trim this paper, which is why it gets confusing. So let me just pull in. I have a couple of templates that I did. Let me just grab these. Yeah. Okay, so I have seen people do this. So fold it in both directions and then cut from one diagonal to the other. So one corner to the other. Let me show you what you get when you do that. What you get when you do that is, oops, is this, right? This is what you get. So when you take you get two cards out of it. So that's good. If you're looking to save your paper and you want to get two cards out of your 8.5 by 11, you do it this way. But this is what you get for a fold. It folds down into the inside of your card, and then it folds this way. So, nah, not the same. I don't know what that is on there. So not the same. Still a decent card base. It's still unusual. You can flip it either way, however you want to do it. But this is what you would get, and you would get two of them. Now, when you get the two of them, they're identical. So there you go. So if you want to score halfway both ways and then cut on a diagonal and you don't have to cut, if you want it, you can cut from this corner to this corner and it'll still work out. It'll just, the flaps will be on the other side. Okay. So that's what you get with that. If you see a video done that way. And then I've seen people do this. So fold and fold this way, and then they remove this upper section, and then they cut this one at a diagonal, and then they cut this one at a diagonal. Let me show you what you get. This is what you get. So then you get a card that folds like this and then like this. So you basically, you could do like a little pocket card. You know, you could do some kind of a little pocket card. You could do, you know, this way and open it this way. It's nice. It's a good card. It's just not the same as what we're doing. So, okay. So very important when you're cutting your card base. I'm just going to show you that again on my template. Okay. So we score and score. Now I did this on, I did all of this on the back, but because I have notes on here. So this is the section that you're removing. This is the section that you're removing, and then you're cutting from here to here, and then you're cutting from here to here. Opposite diagonals, okay? All right. Let's get back to the card, Tina. All right, now I got a mess on the floor. All right. This is our card. Yay. Okay. So we need an inside of the card, and we need layers and all of that good stuff. So what I did, I have a piece of cardstock, a white cardstock that I cut just, so I cut it 1/4 inch smaller than what this quadrant is, which will give me 1/8 of an inch all the way around when I lay this in for my center. Okay. Now this card, we're going to fold this one. I haven't burnished these yet either. We're going to fold this one in, and then we're going to fold this one down, which is going to leave this area of the inside of the card exposed. So we're going to actually stamp something here. However, I want to make sure that because I have elements going on the front of this card, so I want to make sure that I'm going to have my elements on this card and they're not going to hide my sentiment. I'm just going to give that a good squish, squish, squish right there. Now I took my Natural Botanicals, and I did this already because there is not a die for the Natural Botanicals. Sad face. I just fussy cut all of these images out. So I stamped these in Secret C, first generation, second generation. The second generation actually looks very close to the cloud cover, one of the other new ink colors. So I just stamped all of these images here. And then what I did on these smaller leaves is I just added a little wink of Stella. So I know that camera's not, let me just, let me try to zoom down. I'll zoom down so you can see, make it a little bit easier here, and let's zoom. Yeah, you can see that wink of Stella a little bit better there, but you can see it all over that. So when you use the wink of Stella on ink like the Secret C, it's hard to see, but it actually pulls a little bit of the ink in because it's the wink of Stella is wet. So it pulls a little bit of the ink in to like do a little bit of blending. So you get a little bit of a color inside of those leaves. There. Okay. All right. So I want to try to, I just want to know, like, before I go stamping my, my sentiment in there, I have an idea of how I want some of these elements to lay out. So I'm just going to dry fit that in there. Just lay that right in there and just leave it. And then I'm going to grab these two bigger leaves. And I want this one to maybe come here. This one, I'm actually going to tuck on the bottom and have it come down kind of so it's symmetrical here so that I know like that. Okay. Now I have an idea of where I can stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to, I pulled in some of my stamps from the paper pumpkin Maize Paper Pumpkin, because there's this one right here, this stamp that says Best Dad Ever. That's the one I want to stamp right there. All right, so I'm going to just hold these down. I inked up my stamp, leave that right there. Hold these down so they have an idea of the placement, all of that. And I'm going to come in with that sentiment and just give it a stamp, just like that. Okay, now I can remove those. And I'm going to take this out. And I have one more thing I want to stamp on here. I want to stamp Happy Father's Day. Now, I want to stamp this where it's not going to, I don't want it to show in that section. So I'm going to strategically place this up here. So let me just, when this card is in, when this is in, place that, when this is in here, that's going to show, I want the Happy Father's Day to be somewhere up in here where it's not going to show. I don't want it up at the very top, so I can bring this down, but keep it over here towards the left-hand side and just give that a stamp. And I did it crooked. So let's try that again, Tina. All right, so Best Dad Ever is right here. Let's do that one again. Best Dad Ever, right about there. And Happy Father's Day, right up here. Yeah, a little bit better. Still a little crooked. I think my dad's still going to love it. All right, so move that over. Now I can put this in the card on the inside. So I'm just going to put my multi-purpose liquid glue there. And I'm just going to put that right in there. Oh my Lord. All right, well, I'll have to sand that off. I had ink on my finger, and you know what? I think my dad's just going to love it. He's just going to love it. It's ink on there. I had ink on my fingers, of course. All right. Let's do that. Let's move these out of the way. So the next step is, I don't want to just plop my elements on there. I want another layer on there. So I'm going to pull these two triangles that I cut off of here. I'm going to pull these and we're going to emboss them. Okay. So I have my embossing machine ready to go. Grab my exposed brick embossing folder. So this part, you want to make sure that you have you want to make sure that you have pieces that are going to fit in this direction so that you know which is the front and which is the back. So this one matches this and this one matches the top. So I'm going to, we're going to need to cut some off of this. I want to emboss this first. If you are not embossing this first, you can make that the cut that we're going to do next. But I want to make sure that my embossing is upright on both pieces. So by doing that, you see, I can't put both of them in. They won't go in this way. So I am going to emboss one at a time. And I'm going to do that just off the camera. You guys don't need to see me do that. Just roll that through, crank that through. And then do the other one real quick. So the other one has to stay in this orientation. So I'm going to make sure it goes into my embossing folder that way and roll that through. Like so. Perfect. There. All right. So I want a little, these are the exact size because it's the exact opposite of what we cut. So I want to just trim them down a little bit so that I have a little bit of a border around there also. So I'm just going to bring my trimmer back in real quick. And we're going to trim off the straight sides. So we're going to trim off here and we're going to trim off here. Okay. Good. Oh, good morning, Lisa. Oh, the bell didn't go off. You didn't get a notification. Oh my. Oh my stars and garters. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch off both sides. I'm just going to, and because this is now embossed, I take it a little bit slower with the trimmer. I'm just going to flip that over so that I have that straight side up there. And this one, I'm just going to cut real kind of slow back down one side and down the other so that I have that. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. So we're going to come in here and flip like so. There we go. Okay. Get that out of the way. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put these layers on. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is gorgeous. And throw this on there. This is got a nice even border around all 3 sides. There. I know. Hold on one second. Sorry. My big beast of a dog is barking. Okay, and here, there. Set that up in my beautiful glue holder. And we'll put this one on here. Nice even borders around all of those edges, like so. Perfect. How gorgeous. That is, it's gorgeous, gorgeous. Yay. All right, one more thing I want to stamp. I'm going to pull in this Heartfelt Hexagon punch, and I am going to stamp, again, from my paper pumpkin. This one says, "You mean the world to me." I'm just going to stamp that right on that label. All right, now we're going to put all of our elements on here. I don't like just plop. I like dimension, but I also like layers of dimension. So we already determined we wanted this one here, or we didn't. I did, but I know you guys would agree with me. And then this one we want here. So this one is going to go on this bottom layer. Okay. So right now I just want to figure out what's going on this top layer. This is also going on this top layer. I think I'll put this right up here this way, that there. And then we're going to tuck some of these in. So I want one of these lighter colored ones here, like this. And then we're going to tuck some of these in here. Maybe one in here. I'm just trying to get an idea of where I want to put some of these here. I think this one will move over like that. Yeah. Okay. And then a lot of this stuff I'm going to be putting on this second one because I want there to be dimension on multi-levels. So I am going to grab my dimensionals here. And I'm going to add some stuff here. So these are the 2 biggest ones. I'm going to add that, stick that down there. Like so. And I'm like, I like the look of that coming off of the triangle into the rest of the card. It kind of makes it feel like it's supposed to be a part of the card, the whole card, not just that flap. All right, so this one, I'm just going to pull in some of my glue dots from one of my kits, and I'm just going to tuck this in and kind of, I put the glue dot on the front of this and then pressed it so that it's actually sticking on that tag, on the underside of that tag. So it's also lifted. You can see it's also, oops, you can't really see very well. There, it's lifted off that. Okay. Voila, voila. Looks good there. This one, I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of this one. And I'm gonna just tuck the stem under there. And I'm making sure, remember, this is down this way, but you do want to make sure that your dimensionals are not hanging over your little triangle here. Now, because this is a pretty delicate piece, I'm going to put a mini dimensional under that one leaf. All right, to there. Just to make sure that that stays in place. Pop that backing off there. Good, good, good. And then I'm going to, now this leaf, I had, I put the dimensional on it on the bottom, so it's stuck right directly down flat to the flap, but that doesn't mean it has to be stuck flat here. So we're going to put a dimensional behind this one and give that a little lift. Perfect. Love it, love it. All right, now let's come to this flap here. So this one I know I want this here. I'm going to put this one on dimensionals. I'm just going to put a dimensional here, and we'll put one here. Peel those backings off, and then just place that in lightly so that the dimensionals are not yet sticking. Put that in place and then press down on those two dimensionals. Yay! Now I can open this up and we can add some more. Now, what you do want to be careful, there's a lot of layers going on here, so you do want to be careful not to stack your dimensionals. You want to make sure that you're not creating too much bulk. So I'm just going to come in, put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this leaf here. And I'm just going to make sure I know where the dimensionals are here. And I'm going to go ahead and stick, oops. Ah! Let's just put this one up here. Like that. And then we have more. We have lots. So this one, let's actually stick this one right down. Put some glue here, because we can't put everything on dimensionals, though I would love to. But we'll put this one this way, like that. And this, I like blue dots for these little things here. We'll tuck that underneath like that. So we've got some elements that are kind of coming out over that flap also. Let's see. And I think, I'm gonna hide my ink, my inky finger smudge with this leaf on the inside, doing it. Because my dad will love it. There. So put that one flat right there. Gorgeous. And we have some more of these things, and I have some of these leaves. So let's just put these leaves, let me see, tuck this one in here. Like that. We need some more stuff here. All right. Glue dots, glue dots. These glue dots that come in the kits, they're actually really, I like with the little paper backings on them. Tuck this one in here, making sure that I'm not off my card. There. One more of those and one more leaf to put on. So I think while the card is closed, I want something here. So we'll put one of these here. Like that. One more leaf. I'll put that on with a little mini dimensional. We're just all over the place here, huh? All right. This, and we'll tuck this one up here. Like that. Voila! Look at that. There's our card. Look at that masterpiece. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, Dad's gonna love it, isn't he, Mom? Now I might put some embellishments on here. You can put some little embellishments on there. Oh, let me see. So have these in color. These are the new in color flat dots, flat pearls in color. These are the new in color flat pearls. So I think that I will pop just a couple of the, I like that, the secret, the cloud cover, I think will bring a little bit of that lighter blue in. So let's do that there. And let's put one down here. And one more up here. Like so. Now I do like to put my cap back on my my take your pick tool and just give that a little, give each one of those just a little press to make sure that that glue is sticking right down there. So there we go. That's our card. That's our card. And you open it this way and this way. Yay! Love it. Best dad ever. Yay. Cool. All right. So, in this one, what I like too about this is you do have space to sign down here where it's not seen. Now, I think what I might have done differently is maybe moved this over a little bit so that, you know, you see the whole word happy. But I like it. There's that one. And the way that it stands, so it stands this way. Now, you guys aren't going to be able to really see that, but when it stands this way. So let me show you. I'll try to show you. Dimensionally, this is how it would be standing on the table, right? So you have all of this cool dimension. Now, if you fold it the other way, like this way, it'll still stand, but you don't get that same like wow punch. So this way, and it stands and it's gorgeous. Love it, love it. So there's our card. I want to show, oh, so I do want to, there was one other thing that I wanted to show you. This style card, I love it, love it, love it. But this is not really a great use of designer series paper. And I'll show you why. You can do it, but you have to cut an extra piece to do it. So I just have this, just the sample. I've already kind of, I just tacked it down with a glue dot so it would stay down. And I took this piece of designer series paper. This is from the Beautiful Boca. I chose this one because it is not directional. So you could easily use, you know, what you needed to. But and you can use directional designer series paper, but you have to cut a second piece like this. So this piece is, I believe this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then cut diagonally. But when you do this, because of the way that this triangle, this bottom triangle is, pull that glue dot off there, because of the orientation of this one here, you can't twist this to fit on this. You have to flip it over. So when you flip it over, now if you're going to do this, I chose this color, this paper, because it's the same color, the Calypso Coral, on both sides of the designer series paper. So you could absolutely do a mix of designer series paper. This looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. What? Wait, Carissa Lee, my daughter, Carissa, this is what you want them to look like? I don't know, girl. All right. We'll talk about that. All right. So, you could do it this way. Now, if you wanted just this pattern, like I said, you would have to cut 2 of these. You would have to cut one that was diagonal, that you cut diagonal from top right to bottom left, and then you'd have to cut the other one in the opposite direction, so that you would get one piece that was this way and one piece that was this way. Okay. You can also do, you know, if you have a directional designer series paper, you certainly could do that. You would have to do the same thing, cut two pieces of the 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, cut them opposite in the direction, and then you can do that. So you could do that and let your designer series paper do all of the work for you. So there is our card. Let me just show you some of the samples that I did. All right, so these 2 are ones I did a while ago. These were ones that I did for the original Facebook live that I uploaded. It in that video is on my YouTube channel. It's just listed under videos instead of live. So this one I embossed with a leaf folder. I just did some, like, one of the sponge daubers, and I just did a little bit there. Put a really simple 2 punches from that bow punch, a little sentiment there and there, and I didn't get any crazy there. So there was that one. And then this one, same kind of thing, although I did the embossing on because the dotted circles embossing folder is insane. So I did that, and this was from like Golden Greenery. This was one of the Christmas sets in Pebbled Path and Basic Beige. And the same thing, I didn't put anything crazy, but I mean, that looks really cool too when you first open the card like that. Okay. And then I did, this is another one that I did. This is an older one that I did with that ghost sponging. So I did that, I took that layering leaves stamp set on black, stamped white, and then just did with a white ink. I just sponged a little bit around the edges to give it that faded ghosty look like that. Gorgeous. I love that one. I can't part with that one. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Pull these into the frame. Sorry, I don't know why you can't see these. There, here, and oh, that's much better. Okay, so there's those ones. Perfect. Then I was playing around and I did this one because graduation is coming, right? So I just used, for the designer series paper, this was another way for the designer series paper, because this is directional. I did have to cut 2 pieces of designer series paper. I didn't put anything on the inside, but I just used oh, my little pearl fell off. I just used this is from the birthday celebrations, little tassel, cut a square, popped a little dot on. Congrats, yay, so happy for you. So there's that one. And then I did this one here. So this one's all done with the Impressions of Bloom. And this is just stamped on the triangles that I trimmed down 1/4 of an inch. This is actually the card that I made to do the project sheet. So it's this card that's in the project sheet. So you open it up, there's more flowers on the inside there. And then yay, there's that one. And then I just have one more. This one I did in the cloud cover and the Secret Sea. And I just did those same flowers from the Impressions of Bloom. This is embossed with the what the heck is the name of it? Damask embossing folder. And then you just open it. There's only a couple of little flowers on the inside, and then sending birthday wishes. Yay! Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah. This stamp set, Louise, is probably one of my favorites. These dies, I love them, and just the delicate nature of those die cuts right there. I mean, they're just gorgeous, and I love, like, for this, they're perfect for overhanging this card. So there are all of the alternatives. Yay! All right, let me flip back to me. Let me just flip back to the other camera. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Yay. So there it is. There are all of the diagonal crossover cards that I have been playing around with. So I will post pictures of those over on my Facebook page. I will also, as soon as I hit the end of this live, I'll go ahead and save the description of the video so that you can get to the project sheet in there, and all of the other links, the links to shop with me, the links to follow me on Facebook, and the links to join my Pinterest page, and all of that. You'll see all of those links there. And I will be back next Sunday with another card. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go through some of those old Facebook live videos, and we'll just recreate some of those cards again until I have project sheets for them. So yeah, all right, until next week then, I will see you all on Sunday. I hope that you will join me again for, a great card, and I hope that you make this card and enjoy. Oh, so the other thing I just wanted to, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, once I post this on Facebook, if you make the card and you want to comment with a picture, a photo of your card on my Facebook, on that post, please do. I would love to see all of these cards. So yay. All right. And what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, one very special shout out to Sandy Maddox for posting her eclipse card in another group, and tagging me in that, or not tagging me, but mentioning me in that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Love to you. And yeah, so I'll see you guys all next weekend.